Splatoon has music. And whatever your opinion on the music is, you can't deny that it's interesting. But have you ever wondered what the band names mean? Or what they're referencing? Well, today we're going to be looking at all of that. Using my own personal knowledge as well as the things that I picked up on the wiki, we are going to be finding out every single Splatoon band and idol reference. You can use the chapters in the description to skip to the part that you're interested in me talking about. I'm going to start off by talking about the name of the band, the name of the members, the song name, and finally the real life vocalist. So without further ado, let's begin. Starting off with the OGs, the Squid Sisters. Now at this point I think it's a very well known fact that the Squid Sisters aren't actually sisters but cousins. So why the name? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One is that it keeps the alliteration and it's more catchy and memorable that way, as well as the fact that in Japan, a lot of bands, especially female bands, are often made up of sisters and siblings. Don't believe me? Just Google female Japanese bands and see how many of those bands contain siblings. Anyways, as for the names of the members, Kelly and Marie is a very obvious reference to calamari, a dish made of fried squid rings. Now for their songs. Most of the songs have pretty obvious references to colours and sea life. You know, just like the Splatoon games themselves. City of Colour is a reference to how colourful Inkopolis gets during a Splatfest. Ink Me Up is probably a reference to how a lot of love songs feature lines like "Fill me up with your love" or something like that. Maritime Memory refers to the memories that the Squid Sisters have formed from all the story mode shenanigans, which can be heard as the song takes elements from City of Colour and Calamari Incantation. The word maritime also means close to or next to the sea/river. Fresh Start refers to how the cousins want to start anew after the events of Splatoon 2, as well as being a reference to their catchphrase, "Stay fresh." Wave Goodbye is another obvious one, referencing how someone waves goodbye, as well as referencing waves in the ocean. Yeah. And finally, the one that you've all been waiting for, the Calamari Incantation. Before I explain the name, I would like to start off by mentioning that the Incantation is not a Squid Sisters original song. It's a song that's been passed down for ages in the Splatoon world. The version that you're currently listening to is the chorus of Calamari County. Anyways, Calamari is once again a reference to fried squid rings, as well as being a reference to the in-game Calamari County, which is where the song canonically originated from. The incantation in the name is a pun on incantation, which basically means a spell, which of course links back to the song's ability to free people from mind control and give them strength, as well as doing other things. Oh, and before I forget, let's talk about the girls' solo songs. Bum Rush Blush is an obvious reference to the Splatoon 1 special, Bum Rush, and Blush is a reference to blushing. Yeah, who would have guessed? Anyways, Tide Goes Out is an obvious reference to tides on the beach, which go in and go out. Callie is voiced by Kitty Pop, and Marie is voiced by Mari Kikikuma. If I butcher any Japanese names, I'm sorry. Now we move on to Off the Hook. The name refers to fishing hooks, and obviously sea-related creatures don't want to get caught on a fishing hook because why would they? It also refers to staying cool. Polar Marina's names have a lot of references. First, the one that a lot of Americans probably figured out for interesting reasons is the fact that Marina is a synonym for harbour, so the name could be a reference to Pearl Harbor. Now, while I find it quite amusing that a Japanese video game, especially one aimed towards a younger audience, would have the goal to make a joke like this, there are more references here, more specifically in the Japanese original names. Pearl's name is, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, Haim Hosuki. Haim directly translates to princess, which of course plays into her nickname MC Princess. Her second name is derived from the word Oh boy. Diohozuki. I'm just going to put the word on screen right now for you to read yourself, which means giant Hozuki squid. But here's an interesting part. Haim can also be a reference to the Haimika squid, aka pygmy squid, which is very small, meaning that her name is a juxtaposition of big and small, which could be a reference to the late 90s rapper Biggie Smalls, aka the Notorious B.I.G. Wow, that was long, and we haven't even talked about Marina yet. Luckily, Marina's name is much simpler. As I already mentioned earlier, Marina is a synonym for harbour, and Ida, which is her second name, is a common Japanese surname derived from Idaka, which means webfoot octopus. Now for the songs. Starting with Colour Pulse, like City of Colour, it references the colourful Inkopolis Square. Ebb and flow is the name given to the rising and draining tide. Ebb is the draining phase and flow is the rising phase. This could be a reference to how Splatfest battles are like changing tides into your favour. Acid hues refers to acid music, acid rock, acid jazz, psychedelic rock, and the list goes on. Acid house is often identifiable by the use of a Roland TB-303. The hues in the name is most likely a reference to hue, the variety of colour. Muck warfare refers to getting dirty in a battle, that's all. Fest Zest, which is the victory theme, is a combination or portmanteau of the words Splatfest and Zest, which means enthusiasm. Party's Over, which is a Splatfest failure theme, is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to have Peter Griffin explain it. Nasty Majesty doesn't have an explanation on the wiki, so here's my personal theory. It's most likely a reference to Pearl, considering the aforementioned Japanese name, as well as the fact that she's, how do I say this, rambunctious. Again, this is just a personal theory, so let me know what your theories are. Sharkbite is a really good name, probably one of my favourite names. The name is a pun on shark bites, but the bite is spelt like B-Y-T-E-S. Like Computer Bytes, referencing the electronic style and the retro theme of the Octo expansion. That is honestly a really good name, and it's one of the few times where I think that the English name is better than the Japanese name. Fly Octo Fly is an obvious reference to the final battle, where Agent 8 must use grind rails to get around the statue and cover it in ink. Since the statues are ascended from ground level, it gives the illusion that 8 is flying from a distance. And finally, Into the Light references Agent 8 finally breaking out of both Octarian Society and the Deep Sea Metro. Finally stepping out into the light while the sun rises on Inkopolis. Pearl is voiced by Rina Itio, and Marina is voiced by Alice Periota. Please tell me I pronounced that one right. However, she usually just goes by Alice. Oh, but one more thing before I move on. We need to dive into a bit of trivia. More specifically, Dutch trivia. Did you know that in Dutch, Pearl's name is Lorelei, based on the story of a siren by the same name, who leads men to their deaths? Sirens are known for having alluring voices, so I guess the name kinda fits. Marina's name comes from Mariana Tentacle. Mariana is a reference to the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest point of the ocean. 10 is what you call a Dutch Tussenvoegsel, which basically means a between joiner. This is a prefix put before a surname, and tackle means to hoist, which could be referencing her skills with machinery, and as you probably already figured out, tentacle sounds like tentacle. I'm mentioning this because most other countries will either make the names something very similar to English or Japanese version, or make slight changes that would better suit the country. Both of these are fine, but it's nice to see that the Dutch went the extra mile, going above and beyond to give the names second meanings. So yeah, good job guys. Next up, we have deep cut. The term deep cut usually refers to a lesser known song in a popular artist's discography. For example, I would say Little Wonder is my favourite David Bowie deep cut. Cut can also mean minced seafood, however, I'm finding it hard to find any information on that fact, so take it with a grain of salt. As for the names of the members, a pack of sharks is called a shiver and a pack of eels is called a fry. The names shiver and fry are also juxtapositions, as well as representing their personalities. Fry considers herself to be hot-headed and feisty, and Shiver calls herself cold-blooded and wicked, although she's much more of a clown if you ask me. Big Man is a reference to his size and the fact that he is a manta ray. Oh, and I might as well mention real quick that Shiver's Japanese name is Fuka,
the enemy!
which also means shark, and in Spanish she's called
Bacon!
which is a reference to the Megalodon shark. Let's move on to the song names. Annaki Rainbow, like both City of Colour and Colour Pulse, references the colourful Splatlands, with the Annaki part referencing the fact that Splatsville is a city of chaos. Fins in the Air is an obvious pun on Hands in the Air, which is a lyric that can be heard in many party songs. Next we have what is probably my favourite song name of them all, Till Death Do Us Part. This is a reference to the common phrase said between lovers on the altar, Till Death Do Us Part, which of course means to stay with your partner until the day you die. Death has been replaced with depth, referring to the depths of the ocean. Hide and Sleek is a reference to the classic children's game Hide and Seek. However, it's also a double meaning, as a hide can also refer to the skin of an animal, and a sleek refers to smooth and glossy hair. This is an obvious reference to Fuzzy Ooze and Mr. Grizz. Oh, spoilers by the way. The last deep cut song that plays during the last rocket mission currently doesn't have a name. I'll add it in the pinned comments section once it gets added. Also, while we're on the topic of unknown things, the deep cut voice actors are unknown. So yeah, like before, writing them in the pinned comments once they get added. Hey guys, so some things are happening here. So I was originally going to make this entire video like 30 plus minutes long, but then I started having an epiphany. Basically, I kind of came into consideration, like, what if this video doesn't even perform well, and what if I end up making this 30-minute plus video, spending my time and my effort that I could be using on making that other video that I'm planning for a video that isn't even going to go very well. So I decided, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to end this video off here, and I'm going to finish off editing the other parts for part 2. So yeah, hope you wait around for part 2. As you can probably figure out, this part's unscripted here. For part 2, we'll obviously be talking about the splat bands, and yeah, we'll bring up most of the multiplayer splat bands. We won't talk about the single player characters just yet. But yeah, oh shoot, I almost forgot. Okay, first of all, I want to give a thank you to Joski for I want to give a thanks to Joski for helping me with a few of the for helping me with some of the information for the Dutch Intermission, including helping me pronounce this word, which I'm not going to say again. So yeah, thank you to Joski. Link to her Instagram will be in the description, of course. And yeah, you guys know what the drill is. Follow me on you guys know what the drill is. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Letterboxd. Also, subscribe to my Twitch account. We have Twitch now. And yeah, also don't forget to support your boy if you can. I won't force you to do anything, but please do support me if you can on Ko-Fi. And yeah, that's about it. Take care of yourselves. The deepest point of the Mariana is a reference to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean. 10 is a Dutch oh boy, this is gonna be pain. Tussenvoegsel. 1 second. 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. Oh god. 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. I think that's close. That's pretty close. I'm getting better at this. 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. Let me just say a couple more times to make sure that that is indeed right. 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. Should I put an emphasis on the G? Okay, it can be said with a soft G or a hard G. It's a dialect thing, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. Okay, 10 is a Dutch Tussenvoegsel.